I'll just end it right now then. That's it. We're good.
Adrianna, right?
Like the Sopranos character.
Yeah, got it. I want to make sure. Welcome to episode 341 of the S&D Podcast Show. As you guys can see, we have 4 boxes today. Start us off. Danny, Van, we'll talk to you later. We don't care about your Green Bay trip right now.
Before, thank you for winning, Vin.
Yeah,
I was going to say, we can be nice to him just this once because they
week.
actually won an important game. Yes.
Well, technically twice because they decided not to play in London. So worked out pretty well for us also.
That's true.
Most importantly, we would like to welcome for the first time to the S&D podcast, Adrianna, better known as New York Giants fangirl. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Why don't you start off by letting people know your story? Tell people how you got into Giants, how you came up with the New York Giants fangirl page, and all the fun stuff that you do.
All right. So I am actually originally from New Jersey, and that confuses a lot of people because I live in Connecticut now. So I literally had to change my bio. So it says that I am from New Jersey. I just live in Connecticut now because I kept getting that question, right? Is like, you're from Connecticut. Why are you a Giants fan? Whatever, because Connecticut is really split. But so I'm from New Jersey. My grandfather actually was a diehard Giants fan and had season tickets up until they moved it from Giant Stadium to MetLife and they brought in the PSL. So diehard Giants fan, him and my uncle used to go to all the games. My uncle, back then, I actually just found this out from my uncle, because they had season ticket holders. When the Giants went to the 87 Super Bowl, they were involved in the lottery for tickets for the Super Bowl. So him and my grandpa ended up winning. They got 2 tickets for the Super Bowl. The face value was $65. And my grandpa was like, it's too expensive. I'm not going to go.
Oh my God.
I was like, what?
So he will
Where's that Fry meme from Futurama? Yeah. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Literally.
$60. Wow.
$65.
Yeah.
That's my preseason tickets.
Right? I said to my uncle,
we're like 3 years away from that being parking.
Right. It is parking for the Lions game because I was looking for a parking pass and it was $61. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, well, yeah, those are the secondary markets. What is it,
Yeah.
30, I think, Danny?
Yeah, 30's face.
30's face this year. So
I can't believe they mark up parking.
Oh,
isn't that absurd?
Yeah, I do it.
It's ridiculous.
I can't even.
But you got to realize also when they mark up parking, they're really only getting like
right.
They're only making like $10 out of it.
You shouldn't make anything.
Site
It's parking.
you're on is making extra money.
Right. They're already making a ton of money on the tickets. They need it from the parking too.
And this is where, Congress is getting involved with Taylor Swift because all this stuff is going on now.
I wish they would do that across the board.
I sent all the pre-sales last week thinking like, oh, it's like I'm helping everybody out. And then
did nothing.
I did nothing.
No. You couldn't, nobody could help, Danny.
Yeah, not helpful enough, apparently.
And they picked the one fan base of like artists that would just lose their minds. So
yeah, seems like that's the case.
So before we start, I found out about your Instagram during the summer, and I really loved the history stuff you were doing, and then turned into the everyday Giants news and info. And like on crazy days when you're working or taking care of family stuff, in my case, it's cool to watch your feed and watch your videos because it's like quick to the point. All right, X, Y, and Z's hurt today. He's not practicing. This is like, I really like the quick info, especially on Instagram. So what made you want to do like social media starting this year?
Well, thank you. So my full-time job is in social media. I've done social media for 10 years. Right now, my full-time job is with a car and home insurance company, and I work from home. So it's a little boring. And I just kind of felt like I had a little too much time on my hands. And like I said, I've been a fan forever. And I, was doing some stuff on my regular Instagram page, but because I have friends from Massachusetts and South Carolina and whatever, a lot of them don't really care about the Giants. Right. So I was like, I need to find people who are on my level of fandom with the Giants that I can just talk to about the Giants only. Like my husband is a Pats fan. So he's like, I don't care who's injured today. So I was like, I'm just going to start an Instagram page. I'm sure I'll find a couple people who also like the Giants. Maybe they live locally, and when there's an away game, we can go to a bar together and watch a game or something. So that was kind of my initial thing, was like, let me just meet and connect with other Giants fans. So I felt like there wasn't anyone who was doing it like I do it with a video aspect. Like I followed a lot of Giants fan pages, but a lot of it is just graphics and stuff like that. And even though I work in social media, I can't do graphic design to save my life. So that's like not what I'm good at. So I was like, all right, I can talk pretty quickly. And, I'm literally on Twitter all day. So it's easy for me to get the injury stuff out, especially because I work from home. So I basically just stalk Twitter, and whenever there's updates, I post them. And I have gotten feedback from people saying like, oh, that was really helpful. Thank you for sharing, because they're not on Twitter as often as I am, or they don't check the app or whatever. So people have actually found it helpful more than I expected that they would. So it's been great. It's been really fun. And I kind of recently was like, well, the Giants are actually winning, so it's even more fun to be a fan this year.
Yeah.
So
tell us about it.
Yeah. So I started going live after the games, which I was just kind of like, oh, it'll be fun to just be like, yay, we won. And last weekend I had a bridal shower, and people were literally DMing me like, are you going live after the game? Can you go live? Can you go live? And I'm like, first of all, I actually didn't think that anyone gave a shit. And second of all, I am at a bridal shower, so no, but maybe later. It was so funny.
And that was the cool thing. That's how you hooked me, because all right, Steve and Vin obviously know. Like, my obsession with the Giants is very historical as well. So I think you must have did like Jason Sehorn or Jesse Armstead. And I was like, holy crap, all right, this is like, she's legit. So like...
the off season, I felt the draft, obviously there was a lot going on. And then of course there's this lull before the season starts. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about from now until July, because there's nothing going on. And then all I would hear from a lot of like the young people that are probably, I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 32. And some of the younger people that are DMing me are like 18, 19, 20 years old. And the only thing they know about the Giants is Odell Beckham. And I'm like, dude, we've won 4 Super Bowls. Like, we are one of the only teams that's been around for 100 years. Like, I know you've probably heard of Lawrence Taylor, but do you know who Carl Banks is? Do you know who Phil Simms? Like, Bill Parcells. Like, it has such a rich history that I was like, these kids need to be educated.
Yeah, like, no kidding. Me and my friends would like share your videos and like, oh wow, she did this guy today, or wow, she did so and so. So yeah, we in my group chat, you were very popular this summer, and still are.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
I appreciate that.
So yeah, lucky you started this year. Me and Steve,
I know, right?
Started 10 years ago, and
podcasting
wise, we started 10 years ago, and we only had one playoff run, and it was just like, all right.
It was like the perfect storm, because like we started, it was the year after. Was it the year after or 2 years?
No, it was a year after.
Year after. So we were like a good team, and then boom, Hurricane Sandy. So that stopped us from doing anything. And then Plaxico shot himself, and it's all been downhill since.
Double whammy.
We didn't record during Plaxico's show.
Oh wait, sorry, that's right. That was 2018. Sorry.
But yeah, it was, and then 2016 we had that short year, but
we don't talk about that one out loud.
Yeah, because Vin.
But a boat trip, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, listen, all I know is what happened on Favre's last pass.
And then And then I did a couple of podcasts, like solo Giant stuff, like cooking during COVID. So that was fun. It didn't gain any traction, but it was fun. But yeah, like what is obvious? Well, like we all know, you're obviously happy that we're 7-2 right now. But like, what's your like excitement level going into the rest of the season, especially with all our division games coming up? This week could be a trap game with the Lions. Like, what's your vibes going into the next couple of weeks where it's going to be just crazy, like landmines of like all the type of emotions going on the next couple of weeks? What are you going to take away starting with the Lions game?
So what I like to say and what I've been trying, especially with the whole OBJ thing, is
okay, we're going to go there. All right.
I'm optimistic, but I'm realistic. And I think there's so many people who are just not realistic about it.
Oh, well, like don't go on Twitter.
The amount of people who are like, we're going on a Super Bowl run, we're going to get OBJ. Yeah. I'm like, are we watching the same football games? Because I'm super pumped that this team is 7-2. And I think we're very capable of beating the Lions. I think that there's no reason why we can't beat the Cowboys. And after watching the Eagles the last 2 weeks, there's no reason why we shouldn't compete against the Eagles, especially when we're going to get all these guys back who have been injured for so long. If we can get them all back and we have almost a full roster of people, why can't we compete? So I don't expect us to win the division, but I think that I feel more optimistic that we actually have a shot at it. Where 2 weeks ago, I was like, we're not winning the division, but we'll probably make it to the first round of the playoffs. And that'll be like best case scenario.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
we're playing meaningful football the week before Thanksgiving, and that's all. I'm thankful for that. There you go.
Yeah,
I found my thankfulness this year.
Meaningful games in December. That's the
meaningful games.
The Giant thing.
Carl Banks puts it the best way that with MetLife Stadium not being an Airbnb and it's actual real home this year.
Yes,
I agree. Being at the last couple of seasons, being at almost every home game, it was just like, why? This is like just terrible. And then like being at the games this year, you're just like amped up before you're actually going into the stadium. We're watching a good product on the field and off the field. Like they're slowly building. You really starting to trust Shane, and you're starting to obviously love Daboll. And like it's funny, like when I went to FanFest, I actually probably saw you there, but I didn't.
I was there too. Yeah.
With FanFest, like it was just like I remember talking to Jordan Rondon, and he was like asking me like, "Oh, so what do you think about the season?" And I'm like, "If they win 6 games, I'm throwing a parade type of thing."
Yes.
And now they've surpassed it, so it's like, all right, I'll take it.
That's what I had going into the season. I was like, I had them going 7-10, and that was me feeling like I was being overly optimistic that they were even going to win 7 games. So now I'm like, okay, well, if they make the playoffs, that's a bonus. I'm not expecting anything more than that. I would be happy with that.
Right. So
I think who was it? Clem said it last week. He said that after winning the 7th game, you would have thought the season was over. We're going into the offseason after 7 wins. We're all excited. Let's go. We talked about this, 2 weeks ago, Danny? How there's no way, if I said before the season we'd even be thinking about 1 loss going into the bye.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really surreal right now. And hopefully, like, it's like a good learning lesson. It's good step 1. This is how we win. Next year's going to hopefully be a bigger and better year with more cap space and everything else like that. What are we going to do with Saquon? We'll get into that in a few minutes because that will be a good discussion, especially with our 2 key free agents going into the next season. It's just like the vibes are 100% better, and like I'm completely shocked, but I'm loving every second of it. So might as well talk about it. So I'm not sure where your stance is on with Saquon and Daniel Jones and everything like that. Me and Daniel, like most of the fan base, me and Daniel have had a up and down relationship, to say the least. But like, what's your vibes on Daniel Jones and Saquon hopefully both coming back next year. Like, you can get me recorded last year saying they're both gone and I wanted them out and everything else like that. I'm very happy and proud of both of them stepping up and actually like bouncing back. So what do you think about those two?
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic. We've been calling them that for years. It's finally sticking.
I know. When I saw that video today, I was like, this is awesome. I love that his players call him that too. Like, I thought it was just fans making up crazy stuff. And then to hear Saquon say it to him, I was like, this is great.
Right.
So I felt the same way when Jones was drafted. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Right. I was so pissed because I felt like Eli still had more to give and they were just screwing him over with the horrendous offensive line and the fact that they just weren't doing anything about it. So I have changed my tune on Jones. I will say that. Like you, I feel like my relationship with Jones has been up and down, but I more so have just felt like he got the crappy end of the stick.
Right.
And I just wanted to see what he was actually capable of. And I feel like we haven't been able to see that until now. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I would ride with Jones. I would be more than happy to keep him to a longer term contract. I think we should. I think once we get a couple wide receivers in here, we are going to see an elevated Jones. And from what we've seen from him, even this year, just from week 1 to now, week 10, it's amazing the progress he's made and the decision-making, the lack of turnovers, all of that, the way he's reading defenses, the way we haven't really seen before. Yeah. I think that he's just grown so much that all I can think is, what if this kid had 2 years in the system under his belt, plus more weapons? Like, I just think he's only going to do better. And I think he deserves the opportunity to do that. And I think he's also kind of shown all of us that, he knows he's in a contract year. He knows that he's going to do whatever he can to stay on the field, like he did with the bleeding hand and the taped up ankle.
The weekly bloody hand. Yeah.
Yes, he is a tough dude. And I think that he deserves a little bit more credit. And I feel bad for the situation that he's been put in. And I also, the way that people still want to tear him down, I just don't understand.
Well,
why don't you go talk crap on Russell Wilson? Like, give Jones a chance. He's finally proving what he can be with these other pieces. And what's frustrating to me is you see guys like Brady and you see guys like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow. They have a crappy O-line and their receivers can't get open. What kind of offense do they have?
Very true.
I don't know. I think people have just been overly mean to him. So I'm all in on Jones. I said it before this season. I want to see him get the pieces and I'm happy to stick with him. So I hope they do. And I feel the same way about Saquon. I feel right now the offense is nothing without Saquon, but I also feel like if Saquon got hurt for whatever reason and we put in Breida and Brightwell, we still would have an effective run game. We probably wouldn't have the explosive plays that we've seen from Saquon, but we also haven't really seen those 50, 60-yard runs and the long touchdowns that we saw from him his rookie season. He hasn't been involved as much in the pass game. So I don't know. I would like to see him long-term. There's no doubt about that, especially if he stays healthy this year. But I also feel like if it's going to bankrupt us to get him to a long-term deal, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah. But I do think Shane is very smart and he is not going to make the deals that Dave Gettleman made. He's going to be smart about whatever they decide with Saquon. I think it's more likely to me that they sign Jones this year. They sign guys like Julian Love, Andrew Thomas, sign them to longer terms. They franchise Saquon and then next year they sign him longer term.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I didn't even think about signing Andrew Thomas yet, but that would be a good thing. He would deserve it.
I'm like, sign him forever.
Yeah, definitely.
The number on Saquon, by the way, this week was like 12.6 with the tag. So
yeah,
that's not that bad, right? Isn't McCaffrey getting like 16 or 17?
And he's getting released and re-signed apparently at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Saquon? Or
No, McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
Oh, interesting.
Because he has like an out, which is what made it his contract tradable. And there's a lot of talk that San Francisco and him all want to stay together, but they can't with the finances, so they got to renegotiate. Probably add years and lower the money.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. With Saquon, I think a comparable contract would be, but the way he's playing would probably be Nick Chubb. I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I heard people saying that would be a comparable contract that would be healthy for the Giants and Saquon at the same time. So
he signed a 3-year with an out at $36 million. Cap hit was like 4 or 5. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
4, 5, 14. The first year of the contract was 5. The second year is 14, and next year is 16.
Okay. See, like that hurts a little bit, but what he does for us, it's just like, all right, we're just gonna have to swallow that kind of pill.
Right. Like we really don't. Right now, we have no offense without him.
He is our offense.
Right. That's why I don't. When people were saying we should trade Saquon and we're not going to re-sign him, I'm like, how can we do either of those things? We have no offense without him, and I think that Matt Breida is a great. I think that he's a great back and everything like that. But at the end of the day, the offense is not centered around Breida. It's centered around Jones.
Oh right.
I mean, Barkley. Sorry.
Barkley. Right. So let's see. So are you going to the game on Sunday?
I am.
Okay, cool.
Very excited.
We already had this conversation.
This is what I've heard so far in my DMs, that D2, D3, J18, and J19 are where it's at.
Oh, we're in J8.
We're in J8.
Okay.
But I am actually going to be in L16 with my friend Snacks and all those guys for his brother's birthday. So, unfortunately,
the parking lot is all over the place.
Yeah, I'm going to be not in my normal spot in J8.
You're going to need a golf cart.
Yeah, unfortunately you do.
I have tried to hitch a ride on one of those golf carts, by the way, and they wouldn't let me.
You have to be handicapped or know the guy who's driving it, because we also got that guy fired, but that's a different story.
Well, to be fair,
no, he got moved. Sorry, he got moved.
He got moved.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine, right? But I had gone a couple years ago to the opening game. They were playing against Jacksonville, I think it was, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah, it was annoying rain, yeah.
It was the worst. My brother and I were running late, and I happened to get tickets from a friend who at the time worked for the team. So I couldn't pick them up until right before the game. So my brother and I are running through the parking lot in the rain. We go to Quest to pick up the tickets. And I'm like, please, can you just drive us? Like, we already missed kickoff. Just drive us to the gate to let us in. And he's like, I can't. Like, I really can't.
So you had to go to
I'm like,
Quest?
Everyone's in the game already. We had to
go
sprint back in the rain.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But it was a good game, even though they lost. But so, like, what's your like game day like rituals, of like if you're going to a game, like you obviously like to tailgate and hang out, like what's like some of your superstitions?
Yeah, any superstitions
or traditions?
We're big
or like
superstitious people here.
Yeah, it's really bad. And I know you're Italian, so you have to have something.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't know if you guys had seen my stories, but every week, 20 minutes before the game, I would get on stories and like literally yell at people and be like, if you are not wearing the same outfit that you've worn the last week and the last 2 weeks down to the underwear, we're going to have problems.
All right.
But now it's new. So last week, because I was at the bridal shower, I had like my Eli jersey on before the shower. Then I got changed for the shower. As soon as it was over, I had like my Eli thing back on with a hoodie. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear the Eli jersey. I mean, I'm going to
wear it under your jacket.
I'm going to have to put 6 layers underneath it and on top.
You'll be fine. No, yeah. We all have stupid, crazy superstitions. So Yeah, mine's I have to have a bagel every Sunday morning or the game day for whatever weird reason. Win or lose,
That's a
have
good
to
one.
do it.
Do you get the same bagel, like breakfast sandwich every time, cream cheese?
It's a bagel with cream cheese. Unless I'm at the game, it's butter because it
Okay.
travels better. But yeah,
That's
Okay.
and then me and Steve used to do jerseys. We used to do big on the. All right, we wore this jersey this game and they won, so we kept it going. That was my friend West this year had shorts. They finally lost, thankfully for him, because he has season tickets. It was funny. He was wearing like a bathing suit like the first 7 weeks of the season.
Oh my God.
Oh,
And then I
Wait,
saw
he
him,
didn't change after the Dallas game?
You know what?
Because I
it
changed
must
the
have been
whole thing after
it must have been
Dallas.
after the Dallas game. You're right. Yeah. you're
Okay.
right.
So that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. But you saw him a couple weeks ago. Whatever. Well, the Ravens game. That was the last game he had it on. It was really funny. Just all right, he's in navy and swims a swim trunks, so it's pretty funny.
Like I have the same shorts and pants I wear to all the games because they're the Giants shorts and pants. They're camouflage Giant stuff. So it's
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm off the
So
jersey.
you wear a different jersey or shirt every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually worn the same Strahan has this tank
you
top
did
hoodie,
wear that last week. I was like,
and
why
I've
are you
been wearing that with 3 layers underneath it last week because it's so big. So yeah, that's the only thing I've been keeping.
The only thing I've worn, it was funny this year. The junk headbands. There's these
I don't know
headbands,
if I've seen them.
and they have giant ones. So I bought one like an idiot, and I wore it for the Titans game, and we got touchdowns in that. So thank God the Cowboy game. Well, I'm pissed that they lost the Cowboy game, but I was wearing a headband for the first 3 weeks of the season. It was my lucky touchdown, a headband. Hopefully, I don't have to bring it out again.
Yeah, gonna have to switch it up. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology.
All right, probably a good idea. Oh God.
I had to look it up too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So this week we got the Lions. What are you looking forward to this week besides being at the game?
Well, I actually just found out that I am getting passes with a friend who's a season ticket holder to go on the field after the game. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
That's fun. Did that after the Ravens game.
Oh, you did?
I actually snoozed. I could have done it after the Eagles game, and I didn't do it in time, so I'm kind of bummed. But
That's cool though.
You get a pass, and then you just kind of go down on the field and hang out there for a little bit, and then it's nothing crazy. They do a couple years back. They used to do holiday photos. I know the last 2 years.
They're still
the
doing it.
right?
Yeah, it's on Saturday. Actually, I'm going.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
that's nice. They do that.
I have Disney on nice Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
fun.
So I'm actually bringing my 2-year-old for the first time. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
Oh, that'll be nice.
So.
So aside from that, I think that I'm excited for the defense this week because I think that I hope that they're going to do a good job of holding the Lions to 30 points or under. They've scored that many. I think it's been 4 or 5 of their games so far. They put up that many against the Eagles, which is a little concerning to me, but I do feel like our defense has done a really good job of stopping people in the end zone. So I think that we're going to be able to hold them to 30 points or under. But I would say what I'm concerned about is the offense going to be able to put up 30 points?
Yeah. It's the ultimate trap game for the Giants this week. I think with it being colder, I'm praying it's a little windier. And then being a dome team, hopefully we dial it up just enough and have our defense really show up. And then
they won last week in Chicago.
That's very true. Very true. Good point. Hopefully
against a much faster quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It is also a division game, so it's going to be interesting. Like you mentioned, them scoring over 30 points, we don't even sniff that.
Right.
Hopefully, with their defense, hopefully we actually open it up and have Slayton have another big game, and obviously find ways to keep on feeding Saquon like last week. Obviously, maybe not as many touches this week as last week because we do play the Cowboys on a short week, which would be very huge to save him up for whatever. But
yeah, I think this might be the first weekend that we really see them open up the passing game. I would be curious to see if they use Saquon more in the passing game. I mean, my only assumption as to why they're not is because they need him to run the ball every play. But I'm like, why don't you bring Breida in and use Saquon as a receiver, since we obviously have no other good ones? But I do think that after what Hodgins did last week and Cager, that we're going to see them involved a lot more in the passing game this week. And I saw Wandale was on the injury list, and I don't know why. He was limited today with some hamstring or something. But
it's one of those weeks where they're not going to practice a lot next week. So this is the week where they're going to give those guys the little take a breath early in the week, rev it up later in the week practice type of thing. That's just my opinion. That was the same thing I was looking at with Dexter Lawrence having the day off
they gave him,
things like that. So I figured, all right, next week's short. You're probably going to practice Tuesday, maybe a walkthrough Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe a walkthrough before you fly over. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be okay with seeing Wandale less this Sunday if I knew that we were going to see him more against Dallas, because I just think against the Dallas defense, we need to be able to switch it up a little bit. We need someone like Wandale in there.
You mean
you're absolutely right.
The Packers used their fastest receiver finally this week, and
right.
Bingo.
That's it. Speaking of receivers, I'm just going to bring it up because I want to hear all of your takes on it.
Oh, he's scoring a touchdown this week. I'm calling it now.
Do we want OBJ back? Do we not want OBJ back?
We need him back because there's another guy we're paying way too much money for who doesn't do anything. So
so Finn,
he's getting a touchdown this week. You heard it here first. I'm calling it
right
now.
I'm rooting so hard for him to do something.
It's
if I find out he's dressed, I'm putting money on him on FanDuel too.
Yeah, touchdown.
So
that second drop was just
the first one was a little away from him.
Yeah, the first one was more on
hand, so I'll give him a little break on that one.
Yes.
That second one was terrible.
I feel bad for him because I feel like all of the media and what everyone's been saying about him is getting to him, because he, prior to this, wouldn't make drops like that. And there's just no excuse. I don't care how much money you get paid. You are not a rookie wide receiver in the NFL. There's no reason for you not to catch that ball. And I think it's exactly what happened with what's his name? Yeah. That could have been a huge gain for him and would have been enough, I think, to redeem him with the fan base, but also for him to feel like, okay, I can do this again. I'm back in my groove.
Yeah,
whatever.
It was bad. So
my favorite meme of all time.
Put Stafford in the Hall of Fame for making Kenny Galladay.
So we joke.
There were comparisons to Calvin Johnson for Kenny Galladay.
Yeah,
when he was
after 1 year with Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
You know what we should do? We should trade him to the
Rams because they don't have Cooper Kupp anymore.
So,
right. They need
go.
So Vin, remember last year when you went to whatever game it was and Evan Ingram got booed off the field badly? And you were
he didn't get booed off the field. He got cheered when they took him off the field.
Yeah.
It was even worse.
Yeah.
I said it in our chat on Sunday that it was worse than that.
Worse. It was worse than that.
So he came off the field and you went nuts?
Oh, he got booed off the field.
He literally got booed out of the stadium. I'm pretty sure
I was
they
at
locked
one of the
him
games where he got booed.
I'm pretty sure he got locked into the bathroom at halftime and
it's not good. It's really sad actually.
It's upsetting. It's a guy
and it's we need him to be good. It's not it's not oh, we're so loaded at wide receiver. So we're we need you to do something. Just do anything at this moment.
It's not like we're 2-7 and we're just hoping you put up numbers for us to make us feel better about these games. It's we're winning these games, buddy. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Well, and I think he wanted to contribute. He had this great presser where he, said that this is the first time he's been on a winning team and he wants to contribute and all of this. And I think he meant it. I think like Slayton, he just has that mental block, whatever it is. But I mean, I think at this point, we probably don't want to talk about Kadarius Toney, but I felt the same way about him. He had every opportunity in New York to be OBJ 2.0. He could have been a superstar on the field. He could have been a freaking rapper on the side. Like he had everything going for him. And I don't know why he just didn't want it.
I was listening to the Carl Banks Bob Papa podcast this week. And if you guys don't listen to it, I highly recommend it. Because Bob, you do listen. So Carl Banks was basically saying, I'm rooting for this guy. This guy's not an asshole. Basically saying, like, we need to get it. He just needs to get it going. For whatever reason, it's just never there.
Yeah. It's disappointing. But I am glad that Slayton is stepping up because he's one of those people that I feel like I kind of feel like Ingram was like this too. Like they're good people and players, and they're always nice to the media, and they're easy to like and to root for. They just, couldn't get out of their head, I guess, or whatever the reason was for the drops. But I'm glad that Slayton's turning it around because I know him and Jones always had a good connection, and Jones always looked for him, and he's a great receiver. Like when he can catch the ball, he's awesome. He could be our number one in minutes. Just has to be a little more consistent. So I hope he keeps it up.
And I promise I'm not being super rude, but wrong one. Lauren, nobody asked you. That's our friend. We mess with
That's a friend of ours. You don't have to worry about her.
I don't really know who this other guy is. In our chats. Hi,
Welcome aboard, William.
We're here every week.
So, yeah, no, like the Galladay thing is just like the biggest mystery of like between the injuries and like it looks like he lost a step or like 10 steps, and it's just like very unfortunate. It's just like something's got to give sooner or later.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's kind of hard to watch too because we've seen pretty much every other player on the Giants take a massive step forward with this coaching staff. So you look at someone like Galladay and it's like, why are you not stepping up like everyone else is? And I'm sure he's trying and whatever, but I even feel this way about Matt Pert. Like he really struggled last year and was hard to watch. And this year I'm like, he's got a whole new coaching staff. Who knows what they can make him out to be? They could turn him into, one of the best linemen the Giants have had in a long time.
And he finally played on Sunday.
Same thing with Shane Lemieux when he comes back, if he comes back off. I think he's got,
what about Bredesen?
Is last week, Danny?
What?
Is it? I think next week is
week
3, or is this week 3 for him?
I forget, but it's soon. The clock's on for him. So it's actually like within the next 2 weeks. But like it was great to see like Williams just said now with the eight guys of 8 linemen playing. They did that on Sunday.
Well, we got to go back down to 7. We should go down to 7 because that one guy who kept jumping off sides.
Yeah. But it was cool seeing Nick Gates running in motion, and it was the whole joke like, have you ever ran in motion? And he said no, and it was just hilarious. And then
I'm all in for throwing the ball to Nick Gates.
Well, we tried that once and it failed miserably.
Well,
do it to Andrew Thomas. It worked.
Yeah, that was working.
I mean, it can't be any worse than that Green Bay quarterback trying to throw to his offensive lineman.
It was basically as bad as Riley Dixon to him. Our last Sunday night football game.
I don't know. That Tom Brady attempted catch was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I do like that in his old age. He's just like jokes about everything now. He's just kind of like, if I don't trip over that rock.
What are you thinking?
He literally was like, if I don't trip over that rock, I'm going to moss that guy every day.
I know. But
did he say that in the post?
Yeah,
he's 3.
Yeah.
Oh
he said it as a
joke. But he's saying it as a joke, so I'm happy he can like make fun of him.
Yeah, he has a sense of humor.
Byron Leftwich needs to not call that play, or whoever is calling the plays.
And also, in fairness, if he makes the catch in the Super Bowl, the Eagles may not have one. Just saying.
That's true. Oh God.
No, Tom Brady's going to retire when we're in the wild card game and they're the home team because they won
That's
their
the home-
division,
And we beat them.
and we beat them. And then Brady's like, "All right, I can't beat the Giants. I'm just going to
I
retire."
am 100% going to my mother-in-law's condo for that.
I've already heard from a couple people. I'm like, does everyone live in Florida?
Just
That they're
about.
like, yeah, no, if the Giants if they play Tampa, I'm going.
Oh, I went to Daniel Jones's first game, and that was before I knew Daniel Jones was going to be starting. So it was the
That was
best.
a good game too.
Oh yeah, the game was insane.
I'll be honest.
It was Giants Stadium.
The craziest thing I heard, and of course, getting ahead of ourselves, but we want to play Minnesota because Kirk Cousins in primetime. Kirk Cousins primetime. Guys never won in primetime.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't say the. I don't think they said the time for Christmas Eve yet. I could be completely wrong. So I'm hoping that's a primetime game.
Oh, that could.
Oh, that's
be
that's the one in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think Lauren's very confused. Vin, can you?
I kind of feel like Kirk is a new breed this year. Oh, it says it's at 1:00 right now.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're all set for 1:00.
It could be changed. I mean, that could be.
We're in the flex part of the
game.
season, so like.
Yeah.
I kind of don't need it to be a night game, but I need Kirk Cousins to play in primetime. I'm in a pickle for that one.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Danny. I'm already off the day after the Eagle game because my money's still on that game getting flexed, especially now that they have a loss.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a flex.
The only way that game doesn't get
was
flexed,
the
if I knew,
Jets.
was the Jet. If the Jets beat New England this week,
Right.
then they'll play. Then that Buffalo game becomes a divisional match for the division, basically.
I hope it because I would like to still be at 1:00.
Yeah, me too. Also because the Giants and Eagles also play each other in the
Because we know that
Week
game's
18, so that game could always be the
that
one.
game's gonna get flexed.
So I was just looking at the week 16. So the Eagles Cowboys play at 4:25, but I think the 8:15 game is Raiders Steelers. So
Oh God.
they could change that, and they have Commanders 49ers at 4:05.
Vin's like gross.
Jeez,
Vin just joked on his
I forgot the mute button.
I did forget the mute button because I'm looking at something that I want to ask you about. There's been a lot of talk about the Giants defense. They've been playing well, and they have been playing well. They are second in the league in recovered fumbles. They've recovered 10 fumbles. I feel like that's not sustainable. And they
It's
only have
not.
they
but
only
I
have
think,
2 interceptions.
Yeah, we only have the 2 interceptions, so I guess that balances itself
So,
out.
I guess-
Isn't
is
Jordan
that-
Love is one, and then the one the other day.
And Dave
Jordan
Ball
Love
was the
plays
other.
for my team, not your team.
Yeah, Vin.
Right.
Steve, you did it again.
Actually, he doesn't play for my team. He doesn't play
Julian
for
Love.
anybody.
We did almost make that trade just for the London game.
Maybe it would have helped.
Vin, you remember in the group chat when he said Jordan Love is getting an extension? I was like,
Yes.
what? And then
Yes.
you're like, no.
Oh,
it's
the way
Julian.
Aaron Rodgers is playing, Jordan Love making an extension.
Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after this year?
No,
Yeah.
because
No,
his,
he makes
top,
too much money.
his cap hit is astronomical. That
He
there's
needs
no
to
shot.
retire because if not, his cap hits about $100 million next year, and we're gonna have some problems.
Seriously?
I think if they it's weird. They're
It's
gonna have to
very- it's-
restructure it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really.
so his cap hit for next year is 31 million, but if he like retires or they release him, it's 100.
That's what it is. If they release him, it's 100. That's what it is.
Well, I feel like he's
If it makes
he's
you
gonna
feel
wanna
any better
retire
about that-
after this year.
Right.
If it makes you feel any better, if Russell Wilson retires or gets cut, it's like 110 million.
That is outrageous.
I think we should trade them for each other and see what happens.
Let's ride.
I don't.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised
Green
if
Bay
Russ
Nation,
called it a
let's
day
ride.
after
Cheese
this year,
country,
too.
let's ride.
I mean, it can't get any worse, right?
Yeah.
No,
See,
it
the
can.
problem is, and they were
It
talking
can.
about this on the game on Sunday
actually
when I
can.
was like half asleep / watching it, that the Packers are that team that can now go on a run after this win, and nobody
Yeah.
would think twice about it.
We're
Yeah.
not dead yet.
Nobody would even think twice about
The
it.
man said it. We're not dead yet.
That's why we need to keep winning games.
Yeah. I felt that way about the Bucks too. When they had, I think, those couple games in a row when they lost. I was like, oh, we can't count them out yet. It's
Right.
too
When they
early.
beat the Rams, that last second there, it was just like,
Yeah, that was so annoying.
There were no since the divorce.
you know, yeah.
You gotta think that's what's all like off his mind, like not weighing on his mind as much as it was.
Oh, for sure.
That has to be
Definitely.
a factor.
Oh, for sure.
And the Cardinals are 1-2 since Call of Duty is out, by the way.
Well,
he didn't.
D-
They won.
D-
He didn't
D-
play this week.
yeah, he didn't
Oh, that's
play,
right. Colt McCoy played this week,
he
so it doesn't
didn't
even count.
play
He was home
one-
playing Call of Duty. I forgot.
He didn't play, and D Hop's back.
Oh my god.
I forgot that was the matchup of backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
it's
everybody
Colt
horrific.
McCoy and John Walton, or whatever the heck that guy's name
Wolford,
was.
yeah.
Wolford.
And then Cooper Cup's dead.
We're not traded for an
Oof.
offensive lineman. Sorry, Will, with one leg.
Yeah, especially after we draft Evan Neal. Oh,
No,
that's a
You
name.
can't have Bakhtiari. Get out of here, Will.
He's
He's
the only
too
one that Rodgers
expensive.
likes left on the team.
No,
He's
that's
also
a name.
too expensive for us
That's
right
Way
now.
too-
And
yeah, he just got his contract.
That's
He
a
makes
name
lot
we
of money.
we haven't mentioned. Hopefully Evan Neal comes back eventually as well.
he's
I think
he
for the
was back
Cowboy
to
game.
practice today.
That's huge. We need him to play this week.
Yeah.
So he's ready.
But wasn't
for
he
tonight.
was he an IR guy or no? They didn't.
No.
IR him. No. Okay.
Just a
so
sprained MCL.
So again, that becomes okay. Now you're on the field. Now get ready for next week. Forget about this week.
Because
Yeah.
Lawrence destroyed him week 3. Unfortunately, that was his welcome to the NFL
Yeah.
game.
Well, that was like Watt.
No, that's what I'm
Thomas.
saying. Yeah, like Bud Dupree with Thomas. Yeah.
I think he's going to turn it around. But
Oh, yeah, he will.
I'm afraid to say this out loud, but I do feel like this is the first time in a long time that we actually are coming into some depth on the O-line.
Oh,
and
yeah, it's crazy.
it's not the worst. Like, we're going to get Lemieux, Bredesen. We have Gates, Pert, Neal. I'm like, wow, we actually have an O-line.
They said it on the Talking Giants podcast.
That
You
Pert
always
might
hear that
actually be-
one number, that one guy is eligible, but there had to be at least 5
Yeah, I mentioned
plus
that before.
times where 3 guys were
Yeah,
recorded as eligible for the
it was
Giants.
Yeah.
Gabe
70s
Pert, and then the guy that jumped off sides and got yelled
The
at.
guy that
by
got
him.
ripped on the
Oh,
sideline.
Anderson.
Yeah, that sucks for him.
Yeah. But listen, if it does what it did for Jones, where he hasn't
Right.
made boneheaded decisions like that,
He didn't jump off
anymore,
sides the
then
rest of the game
it
after
works.
that.
Exactly. Maybe he'll never do it again.
But that's also the difference between past years since Jones has been in the league.
It's
His
shocking
last 2 coaches, he
what
makes a
happens when you
mistake.
have an actual coach.
And,
Yes.
and
He
knock
never
on
walked.
wood,
Other coaches just stood on the sideline, didn't
And-
even care. Oh, you
and-
messed up. Go sit
and
down.
knock on wood, his last interception was against the Cowboys, and David Sills fell down, and that's when
Right. It shouldn't have even been counted
Well,
towards
now you
him.
just
Still
cursed.
can't
Now
believe I
he's-
missed
now he's
David
throwing
Sills
one
on
against the
Sunday.
Lions.
because of Galladay.
I was thinking about that. Do we think that Sills is going to be active and Galladay's inactive this week?
Well, hopefully, we'll see because
No,
the,
we're playing the Lions. It's a redemption
Yeah,
game.
he's
They
gotta
let him
play
walk.
against
This
the
is
he
the
got a
game.
phantom hamstring injury today by
That's
Matt
a-
Leonard.
I know. I saw that and
Oh,
I was
boy.
like,
It's getting
The
there
old
already.
bruised eagle DL
Could be.
stint for baseball players.
He's only got 2 catches all year, right?
Who, Galladay?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was week 1, and maybe 1 in the Panthers game.
I don't even remember him catching a ball.
Yeah, it was that memorable.
That's how bad it is.
mm,
It was that memorable.
See, and you mentioned Tony before. Like, I had hopes for that kid.
See, like with Tony, what sucks with Tony is he had every opportunity to be our number 1 wide receiver and
Yes.
just never took advantage of it.
He showed in Dallas last year what he can do.
Yeah.
and
And
that
then
was
he
it.
Play
And
Never
that was
done
it.
anything
You never
like
saw
it
it again.
again.
You never
Yeah.
saw it
And the
again.
Saints game, and like he had a little burst like in the Bucks game last year, and it's just
Yeah.
it was just very unfortunate. Like he just doesn't get it here for whatever reason, and
The
he's
answer
like,
to this is simple. He's going to get used more this week. Last week was week 1 with the team.
right.
Yeah. We're definitely going to
that's
see
the
more of
simple.
him.
That's a simple solution. Last week was just week 1.
right.
And also, he basically got thrown in because of Galladay just being Kenny Galladay.
right.
Yeah.
Right. No.
I don't know if you guys listen to the Locked On podcast, but I listened to that today. And Patty Traina, who's a beat writer for the
Mhm.
Giants, she had Mike Pritchard, who was a former NFL receiver for 10 years, on the episode. And they were talking about injuries and stuff like that. And he said that in the decade that he was in the NFL, not once did he have a hamstring injury. And I just thought to myself, How
Well-
is that possible? And then you look at Kadarius Toney and you look at Kenny Galladay on the injury list today with a hamstring. I'm like, what is going on? Like, maybe the Giants just really didn't like Tony, and he was not
Yeah,
full.
Well,
Like,
it's a
I
little
don't
bit of
know.
everything because it's like maybe the
Yeah.
Giants didn't like him, but then it's also on the other side where they're saying where like he's like kind of hinting that he never was really hurt and he was just faking it the whole time.
Yeah.
it's
But
just
it's like
the
you have doctors,
immaturity
aren't
of
you
him.
supposed to like MRI that thing and like check that? Isn't
Right.
I
that
think
the
he
thing?
was obviously he was really hurt, but like they just wanted to hold him off for one extra week, or obviously trade him
Well,
as we
turned
find
out to like 7 extra weeks.
But like
Yeah.
I think with him, it's the second he got on the team with the rookie camp. He didn't have right cleats
The
on,
cleat thing. Yeah.
and then the whole getting COVID twice, and it was just
The social
this
media
injury.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Am I the
was
only
just,
one that didn't know he was a rapper?
yeah, you're the only
I didn't
one.
know that until
Young Joker.
it came out and people were talking about it last year, and I was like, how did everyone know about this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew about it right away.
Like the crazy thing is like when he even got traded, he said that the Chiefs were the one team that like kept pushing for him in the draft. So it's like,
Yeah, the whole thing was
listen,
weird with
getting a
him.
3 and a 5, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, the whole
I
thing,
would have taken nothing for him if we could get rid of him at this
Yeah,
point.
the fact
I
we
was
got-
I
like, you're
would have
not
thrown in
doing
Kenny Galladay for
anything.
free.
Yeah, right.
it just
Let's
we
take
got to just
him.
swallow our pride every week now when he scores a touchdown. But
I think he's going to be injured again the second he gets
Well, he
tackled.
had that hop, he
Yeah.
was hopping on one leg, so the other leg
Yeah.
must have been hurt. The
Yeah.
unnecessary hopping that he did into the end zone.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
how they showed that on the scoreboard too
Yeah.
at the game. I was like, yep, he scored. Good job.
Yeah.
He's their only healthy
He was
receiver now.
he was wide open because nobody
Oh,
knew
that's
he
right.
was on the
Juju
field.
got hurt.
Right.
Juju and MVS are both hurt, so he's going to be the number
Oh,
one.
my
Juju
God.
doesn't know what year it
I have
is.
Hardman on my fantasy team, and I
Oh,
think
him
he's
too. Yeah,
questionable
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, he's
they're all hurt.
questionable, too.
But if
They're
you
all-
think
they're
about
literally- he's been terrible all year.
no, he had like 4 touchdowns in one game. Hartman.
No, he didn't. That was Kelsey.
No, well, Hartman had 3 touchdowns.
That was
in
last
one
year.
game.
Last year.
I think
didn't have it.
he had 1 or 2 good weeks because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I should pick this guy up.
Yeah, Miko.
He had one
yeah,
or two good weeks, but they were all on my bench.
He had 3
Well, that's-
good weeks in a row. Yeah, from week 6 to week 9.
Okay.
Besides
Hanging out
the
on
But
my
bye.
Kelsey's
Yeah, the
basically
Niner,
number one receiver.
the 49er game he went off, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Well, Pittman Jr. should be a lot better because, he has 12 different quarterbacks in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it was the Niners.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, how does everybody listen to the podcast? For you.
They can do it on YouTube. I only have a couple episodes on YouTube because I just started using StreamYard, or they could find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's called Everything New York Giants, which is so original, I know. But the other name I had, I found out was taken by a beat writer, so I had to change it.
Which
Damn
beat
beat
writer?
writer.
Art Stapleton, because my name is Adrianna, so I was gonna do
Makes
like
sense.
Giants All In with Adrianna, and then I go make the logo, go put it in Apple Podcasts, and it's like All In
that's
with
rough.
Art Stapleton. I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh.
Damn.
No, I listened to the last couple podcasts. They're really good. Just keep it up. You're doing awesome. That's
Thank
the only
you.
thing that's the only thing I could say. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
the last 2 interviews.
Yep. And
I
like you said
appreciate it.
earlier, the not getting on Twitter. I'm a truck driver, so I'm never like on my phone during the day a lot. So it's
Yeah.
like getting on and being able to like go through your feed and kind of see all that stuff is awesome all the time. It was an absolute pleasure having you on with us tonight.
My dog agrees.
I
Thank
hear
you
that.
guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go Giants, and hopefully we'll see you on Sunday.
Yes, let's go Giants. Let's beat the Lions. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
Bye.
Bye.
So before we get into our picks, boys, let's talk a little Buck Showalter here.
Yeah.
Manager of the year.
Basil?
I found it
I could
interesting
give
that he
two
was the
shits.
first ever Giant Mets manager to win the
Well, yeah,
Award.
Evan mentioned that yesterday. It only
Doesn't surprise
started
me, 'cause
since
they
It
all
started in
suck.
83. I saw the
Yeah.
tweet, which made sense because I was with my friend Danny last night, Danny Fisher, and he said Hodges had to be considered in 69, but then the tweet came through that I think Tacoma or one of the other guys retweeted, and I saw it said it didn't start till 83.
Right.
So in 86, Davey was second to the guy in Houston.
Okay.
And that was the funny
Um,
thing. Evan knew, and Craig made fun of him. Like, how would you know that?
88
That's he's Evan.
was sort of one. Jim Leland was actually above Davey Johnson for Pittsburgh. The other
Okay.
year I'm looking up was 99, where we were kind of
Jack McKeon and the Reds. I'm looking at it right now.
yeah, and Bobby was 5. So 2000, Bobby ended up
Dusty.
4. Dusty got the win. 2006 was the year Girardi was only half a year in Miami.
They won 78 games and they were like shocked.
Right, and we
And then
went from like
2015,
12,
Joe Madden won.
which made sense.
Well,
Collins on the third.
Collins didn't deserve to win it anyway.
No, he didn't. 100% he didn't. Bobby probably deserved to win one, but that is what it
I
is.
thought Davey could have won one,
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
but I get it. Houston was the better team, I guess.
It was really funny seeing it was like every 10 years for Buck, and then now, which was pretty funny. It was like 94, 04, and then whatever 2 years. Well, the other year and then this year was pretty funny.
Yeah, the other year was either 11 or 12, I think.
I think it was 12.
So it was the Yankees, Seattle, no, Arizona. That's right.
Right.
They won the World Series.
Baltimore.
No, they didn't win the
He
World
wasn't the
Series.
manager for them, no.
No,
He
he got-
always so like once we fire Buck Showalter, we're gonna win the World Series
Correct.
the next year.
So
So what
he
we're
got,
doing is firing him like tomorrow.
he got
it.
fired in New York. They won the World Series. We got him fired. Todd Pratt got him fired in 2000. And then they hired Bob Melvin.
1999.
No,
Todd Pratt.
Bob
No,
Melvin. Bob
Oh, no.
Melvin. They fired whoever. Bob Melvin replaced him in 01.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You said 2000, so I'm just helping correcting it up for you.
All right, but I think was he their manager in 2000?
Yeah. Brentley was like halfway through the season, I believe. If my
Okay.
memory. Please.
No, so we beat them in 99. You're right, Steven. I thought it was 2000.
Yeah, it was 99.
You're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Because 2000 we
was
beat the Giants and we
And the
beat
Giants
the,
and the
the
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
So yeah,
You know, we
Arizona.
Did we sweep the Cardinals? No, that was 5, I think, right?
Yeah, it was 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
Okay.
And then he won one with Baltimore, but they didn't get better after.
Well, yeah. Well, Baltimore, that was him not. bringing
And
in
how
that
excited are you guys to see Brendan Limmer replace Aaron Judge in the Bronx?
great. Good for him.
Have a
No
good
ill
run.
will. He's
No.
gonna get so overpaid that it's just like whatever at this point.
And honestly, Evan said it today on the show. He said because someone called up and it was like, you know, Judge hit 62 home runs, so you know you're gonna be so disappointed when you're paying him all that money and that's all you get out of him over the next whatever amount of years you're paying him. And Evan's like, no, if you pay him a lot of money and you get a guy who bats over 300, has an over 900 OPS, and gives you 45 plus home runs every year, you're going to be a pretty happy person.
Yeah, hell,
Especially if your
you're
team's winning.
35 home runs. It's gonna suck.
45.
No, I know, but like once he gets down to 35, it's still good. You're not gonna be like, oh, he sucks.
And again, how many of those were at Yankee Stadium? I mean, granted, they were all everything he hit was monstrous, but
Yeah,
still, like,
Judge doesn't hit any cheap ones.
Yeah, I don't. It's like Pete. I feel the same way. It just doesn't-
He gets his.
I understand the where they're coming from. Almost similar to with Diaz, which like you're getting paid off something that you're never gonna do again, and we know you're never gonna do it again.
Right.
But like
if you
you just
give me
gotta come
19
close.
Diaz with 3 extra saves for the next 4 years, you're going to be very happy.
I do not want 19.
I don't want 19 Diaz. I'll take 21 Diaz.
19 Diaz. I'm jumping out of this window and killing
Right.
myself.
21.
Was it 19 was the first
No,
year we had him?
yeah,
where
he
had a
basically like 3
5
blown
ERA.
saves cost us the playoffs.
Yes. He had
He
a
gave up,
5
like,
ERA.
19 home runs. in 2019.
Had like
it
a
was
6
awful.
ERA.
Yes. I think he had a 2, maybe 3-ish ERA in 2021. I'd even take that. Not take it, probably a little lower, ideally, but
Well, not now with $20 million, but yeah.
well, he's not going to have a 1.3
No,
ERA.
no. He's not going to have the K rate he had this year.
Yeah, he's not going to have to. That's what it is. He's not going to strike out as many people as he did.
If he
He's
does,
not going to strike out half the batters again.
You mean to tell me he's not Mariano Rivera?
No.
Oh.
I'm sad to say.
but
I don't
No,
know. It kind of seems like everyone makes it seem like the slider is the same thing as his cutter. So
he's
it
our
was pretty
guy.
devastating.
He's our guy, and everybody's making fun of us. So screw all the rest of the world. So
Okay,
before
no,
we
wait,
go with
wait.
picks,
No,
screwing
wait.
the rest of the world.
Did they really send the trumpet to the Hall of Fame?
I
Yes.
saw that today.
That
The
you got to
Mr.
be
Met
fucking
trumpet
kidding me.
to the Hall of Fame.
That's absurd.
Don't let certain someone hear you say that. But Finn,
Who?
you know who? The Boogeyman. Boogie. So
Sure,
how was
I
your
don't
trip
know.
in Green Bay?
Danny, I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
have no idea what Danny's talking about.
You're talking in code.
Yeah. So
So don't tell Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo about the trumpet. Got it. I don't know what Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is. But clearly we just told whoever Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is
yeah.
about the trumpet.
Now I'm gonna get you getting a text when he listens to it tomorrow.
Snacks.
Yep.
What does he have to do with this?
Who cares what he says?
He's yeah. Anyway, Finn. More importantly,
Fucking
recap Green Bay.
yeah.
How big mad was your dad?
It was very funny because, and he kept giving.
He
me
was
shit
happy
for
for
it.
you, so he was like playing it off that he was happy for you. But
Correct.
He was very upset.
Correct. So I started the whole weekend like I am, and like I said, have been saying for weeks, they're not winning this game. Like, if they can't beat the Commanders and they can't beat the goddamn Lions, then they're not going to beat the Cowboys. So, but the whole time I was also like, I didn't want him to be like, oh, I'm happy for you. Like, I don't care if they lost. Like, I wanted him to be annoyed that they lost, or, to gloat if they would have won. Like, I didn't want it to be, okay, this is the trip to Green Bay. Let's just make it all about that. But no, he was legitimately annoyed.
Yeah.
That they lost, but he was obviously happy. The trip was great. The stadium was awesome. Really, all I could have hoped for. Like I said to you guys in the text, it went from 50 degrees the day before I got there to 31 when I got there. But that's what I wanted. It had to be cold. It was a lot of Cowboy fans. Surprisingly,
not surprising.
I know the way the season was going.
The Cowboy fans travel all the time. It doesn't matter where
They
they're
do,
Well,
from.
they don't even have to travel. They're just
They travel.
I don't think
there.
they're living in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
But it's also that the Packers are not having the best season, so people were jumping off.
Also, that's one of those games where
I wish the Giants
season ticket holders circle it and say, "Hey, I can make a lot of money.
You can make your money back right there."
This is where I can make money.
You make my season off of that, basically.
Yeah. So I mean,
I could buy a whole nother cow with this money.
Exactly. It's so funny. It's just the whole stadium was just people in hunting pants. The whole fucking half the stadium was just camo pants.
Did they all come directly from hunting?
It seemed like it, but it was. I mean, it was wonderful. Everybody was super.
How was
nice.
the little area, Titletown, all that fun stuff?
So I didn't really go that way when you go to park. I think I probably told you guys this. You're parking on somebody's front lawn. Like I literally paid $40 to park on somebody's front lawn.
Because that is actually very similar to how it's set up in Dallas. So they have a couple parking lots with the stadium. So when we went to Dallas, they had a couple parking lots, but we parked like 6 blocks away behind the Popeyes on some random grass. And that Popeyes and the P.F. Chang's that was across the street were all charging for parking for the game.
So if you were to think of the Coliseum, like where we used to park behind Starbucks, it's like if that became a parking lot. And then you walk across the main road, and it's the whole area. Now the Titletown thing, I didn't go over. Like I said, I didn't go over there because I didn't realize. I guess we got there at like 12:30. and the gates opened at like 1:30. So like there was enough to do walking around the stadium area to use that hour. So I went to go see the statues. There's a Lombardi statue and a Curly Lambeau statue, and then there's a Lambeau Leap statue, which there's a line in front of. So we waited in the line
Right,
to the
because
picture.
everyone's got to go stand by the Lambeau Leap.
Correct, and do the thing and whatever. So I did that, and then went inside, walked around a little bit. It's
Wait, as an owner, you're not allowed to cut the line?
Unfortunately, no.
That's bullshit. That's BS. What do you get for that $300? Jeez.
You get to vote and you get a certificate.
Are they
And
going to
you
let
get
you
to-
vote on if Rodgers is allowed to play next year or not?
No,
Or
they
is that
should.
gonna get
Oh, they don't want my vote on that. But I mean, obviously everything that wise was awesome. Obviously the game was one of the better games I saw today. It's the highest rated game of the season, like on television. Lived up to everything. Of course, it went to overtime because it couldn't be any other way.
Honestly, that was one of the rare times where I turned on a game and I stayed up when I come home. Usually I turn on that 4:00 game and it's like, all right, good night. I'll see you after. I'll find out who won during The Simpsons when I go to check my phone and I wake up again.
Right. But no, it was worth it, obviously. The Christian Watson breakout game.
It was a perfect time for that to be the Christian Watson game.
And it's so crazy because the first drive, I don't know how much you guys watch, he dropped 2 passes on the first drive. Both were.
They talked about that in the game recap right before
and I'm
overtime, so I missed that because we of course weren't home.
Right. It was literally.
I got home. I got the game on when he caught the slant touchdown. That was basically when I put it on. I had the score on my phone and stuff, but the slant was the one that I got the first one on.
Yeah, he dropped 2 open ones, and I'm like, he's not throwing him the ball ever again. This is it.
Yeah.
But because of
he was so wide open on the deep ball that he had to throw.
Well, that was that.
Well, he wasn't so wide open, but he did beat his guy.
It was a good throw, and he beat his guy. And then the other 2, he just outran his. It was just crossing routes. So he outran his guy across the field. He only had 4 catches. He caught another one that was actually a nice catch on a low throw for a first down.
Right.
But it was just that and the 3 touchdowns. But they had Diggs did a really good job on Allen Lazard.
Thank God Lazard got that long catch in overtime because I had a FanDuel boost.
Okay.
And it was 40 yards for him and a couple other guys. The other guy, it was Devontae and someone else that just easily got it.
Okay.
And Lazard just had to sweat it out, and thank God for overtime and that catch and run. I'm like, yes, he did it.
Yeah.
That's why I was overly excited when he made that catch.
Diggs was on him and did a good job most of the game, and they also gave the ball to Aaron Jones.
Yeah, well, that's what they should.
You mean to tell me you have a running back that's good and you gave him the ball? Whoa!
What if I were to tell you there's 2 of them?
Yeah,
and they give them both
you pay all those. You pay those guys how much money and they're actually good? Who would have thought?
A 2nd-round pick and a big contract, and they gave him the ball and they won. The guy when we dropped the car off to rental car at the airport, the guy was like, "So they finally ran the ball." I was like, "It took 2 months."
It's so funny, because they're watching overtime and they're like, "Yeah, Rodgers has 14 passes and 10 completions." I'm like,
he was 14 for 20. It was like,
and then Dak being Dak, he had 2 shitty picks. And
awful picks.
Listen, that's your typical Dak. Dak trying to overcompensate for Zeke not playing.
Lamb was wide open the whole time.
Pollard's 100 times better than Zeke right now.
No, 100%. But that's the problem. I did enjoy the McCarthy throwing the headset on the sideline.
He was not happy after which he should have kicked the field goal on that. But
kick the field goal, take the points, and trust your defense instead. But they even said it on the game. You missed that. Now you're giving Rodgers the ball at the 50.
That is true. The difference the ball is the 35. So the difference is you're up by 3.
Sorry. The Cowboys have a top 5 defense in the league. I would go trust my guys to make a stop. All you need is one Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence strip sack away, and you win the game.
Yeah,
I didn't get the logic on that.
I agree. I thought they should kick it, but because even if you make it, the difference in field position, if you make it and miss it, is only probably 10 yards.
Right.
So that's not that big of a deal. But Well, if you miss the kick,
If you miss the kick, you're basically at like the 45-yard line.
right.
If you made the kick, you're basically in the ball at the 25. So it was like a
Correct.
20-yard.
It's
The 20-yard difference. I was thinking miss the fourth down and making the field goal. Then it's like a 10-yard difference. None of that really should have been that big of a factor in the process. But
Right, especially with the top 5 defense, like Danny said.
Parsons
But that's
was
also
on
why
and off
Mike
the field
McCarthy
a lot.
doesn't coach the Packers anymore.
He was on and off the field
like
a lot,
that.
Parsons. So I don't know. Maybe he was.
Oh,
banged
did
up.
you see McCarthy dressed up like Lombardi?
No.
Yeah, he dressed up as Lombardi entering the stadium on Sunday.
Well,
No, he
That's
just
what you
dressed
get.
warm.
that's what you get.
Yeah, he wore the whole trench coat and everything but the fedora.
If they showed one more fucking time the McCarthy Rogers hug before the game,
So
did they like welcome him back or anything like that?
yes, they in pregame warmups they welcomed him and literally a list of it's like
The
10
coaches that he took.
right between former coaches and former players like Al Harris that he took. They welcomed them all back before the game.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Um,
I'm shocked the Giants didn't do that for Ben McAdoo when Carolina was
I'm not
in
surprised. I think
Such a fan favorite of that guy.
yeah, I mean, logistically, my trip, not that matters, but everything worked out exactly as I hoped. Staying in Milwaukee and not staying in Green Bay, it was just worked out well. So if we ever do it, I think that's the way to go, personally. But if we ever work that out down the road,
if we were to mix things up, I was thinking Mets Brewers on the weekend, drive to Lambeau for a day.
we could do that because I mean,
We could do the Lambeau tour because I prefer to do the
Right.
tour.
I
As
want
great as it would be to see the game, the tour would
Right.
be a lot better.
So we could do that because we stayed at whatever hotel, but the hotel I stayed at, I drove past the Brewers Stadium like 3 times. Like it was right there.
Yeah, I've heard it's like right in the middle of Milwaukee. It's like you can't miss it.
Yeah. So overall, good trip, good times.
Pops back in Delaware, all good.
Pops is back. Everybody came back good. Plane rides were small planes, whatever. But besides, yeah, everything is good with that. We're both him and I are both sick from the cold weather or each other or whatever it is. But
Travel, cold weather. It's a big drop in. Plus,
Yeah.
this week has just been.
right now we brought the weather back with us pretty much. It's
Thanks,
cold.
jackasses.
Well, yeah.
Good. All righty. So, picks. Am I doing it, Vin, or do you want to take control of this?
No, you can do it. You're better at it.
Okay. Titans 3.5. That's already over with. We finally get our first. One of us is actually have to watch an Amazon Prime game without
Oh God,
Thankfully, we don't have to, Steve.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, it's gonna be on my iPad. The Islanders play tomorrow night.
Whatever it is. I mean, it might be just me. Last week, the Islanders had a game against Arizona, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
They sucked.
I didn't think about the football game. I didn't think about betting it. I didn't think about who was playing. I didn't think about fantasy.
I didn't even know there. I didn't even
realize.
Yeah, I didn't even bet it.
So, I've been doing a lot of post-game wings over, just to kind of save myself $20 of not eating at the arena.
Wonderful place.
And I walk in and the guy has it on the screen. I was like, "Wait, how's the game?" And he goes, "This is probably the worst game I've ever watched in my life."
Yeah, it was pretty shitty.
Who was it? I don't even remember.
It was Panthers Falcons.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I watched it.
I was a fan of the black. I was a fan of the matte black helmets, though.
Yeah, they were nice. They're all black helmets.
Danny, you could be
Did they
doing
wear black
anything else
pants
with your
too?
life, Danny, than Panthers Falcons.
Danny, were they black? They were black pants too, right? It was all black.
Yeah, it was all black.
Okay. I'm in on it.
Disaster.
It was awesome.
Oh, look at you being favored against the Tennessee Titans.
I really.
You know
I'm
what?
not-
You know what the biggest problem here is that if the Titans win this game, that means the Steve McNair jersey is getting whipped out on Sunday.
No,
No, he can't whip it out on Sunday.
I can't.
Yes, he can.
If they
Not
beat
if
us, I'm
they-
not going to
not-
wear it.
Yeah,
I said if the Titans win.
yeah, but he's not going to
So,
do it because
I'm not going to do it because they beat us. I just think I'm going to wear neutral.
Good call.
You
You're
should
gonna have to
wear
wear a
Green Bay
winter.
Packers. That's your division rival.
I'm going to wear a Packers hat probably.
This is the
Like a
difference
winter hat.
between that second
now-
seed or the third seed.
I shockingly need them to lose. Like, I didn't think I'd be in this situation, but I kind of need them to actually lose.
By the way, Danny, you asked the question last week of who the extra game is. It's whatever spot in the standings from the AFC West will be our extra game next year.
Okay. So let's not win the division then.
Well, does it matter? No, I mean, which means, hey, Danny, you want to go to Vegas?
Not with
Not
two
a bad
kids
idea.
under 3. I'm going Titans because Derrick Henry's on that team, and they could slow the ball down.
It's gonna be a boring game, I think. It's gonna be a lot of running.
But are the Packers back, Finn?
Who's playing quarterback for the Titans?
It's Tannehill.
Malik Willis.
I thought
No, I think
Tannehill-
it's Tannehill.
Does
I
it
was-
matter?
I was projecting.
There's no receivers on that team anyway.
I got whatever Vin just gave me.
Yeah,
Yep, there you go.
Get us sick through the computers.
It's a bug. Get it? Ha ha.
But boom.
I'm going Packers. I can't do it. Derrick Henry's going to score 5 touchdowns now.
Oh boy.
This
I'm
is
taking the
actually
Packers.
kind of surprising.
I'm
the way the
going
Bears have been playing.
Bears
yeah,
the way they've
Bears.
been playing.
I don't know.
I do have to
Falcons
have
are about to win
Mariota
the
play.
division, so.
I need Mariota to have a good game, though, because...
By the way, there's a chance this game doesn't even get played. They're projecting anywhere from 30 to 75 inches of snow in Buffalo this weekend.
75 inches of snow. Excuse me.
I'm going Browns because they have to run the ball in the blizzard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Browns, and we're gonna hammer the under on Sunday.
Hammer.
Yeah. Last thing I saw was
Remember that Shady McCoy game in the fucking snow?
Yeah,
that was
pretty
so much
crazy.
fun.
Buffalo weather Sunday. Yeah. How much snow will the Buffalo Bills and Cleveland Browns get? Preparing for the game. Yeah, they're saying anywhere from they're looking at 2 to 3 inches per hour starting tonight,
Wow.
all the way through Sunday.
Oh, fun.
Snow showers and squalls are expected for the tailgate and the game, but best chance of heavy snow will be during the tailgate. 20 temperature with wind chills in the teens. Don't worry, it says here dress in layers, just in case nobody knew.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Thanks,
God.
guys.
I was going to wear my bathing suit and
Don't put it past you.
we continue to monitor the weather and have been in contact with both Cubs and wind changes per the NFL. Yeah, I'm going Browns because they can run the ball. But surprisingly, somehow the Bills are gonna throw it.
Yeah, some magical way.
500 yards.
Josh Allen's gonna. Yeah. I'm going Eagles. They're bouncing back this week.
Man, they look shitty.
Yeah.
My friend, who's an Eagle fan, wanted to hurt himself because of this game. He's like, we lost to the Redskins. I'm like, nope, they're the Commanders. That's why you lost.
They
commanded that whole
Taylor
damn
Heineke is a problem.
Hey, shout out Ron Rivera playing Taylor Heineke this week. Already made
Yeah.
the decision.
Yeah, that was a hard decision.
Hey, do you want to play Carson Wentz, who's probably going to break something?
And then he
in
got
the
and he
first
has
drive?
and he can't play 70% of the games. If so, you give up a 2nd-round pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
I'm going Jets. When are they ever going to beat the Patriots? This is the time to do
Man.
it.
In Foxborough.
They need payback from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Nope.
ago.
I'm
Bill-
taking
Bill
it.
literally drools over the Jets.
Yeah, it's rough.
This is so tough.
Also,
I'm definitely not touching it betting wise,
Yeah,
but I'm taking the Jets.
go Pats. Okay.
they need to break the streak sooner or later.
Andy Dalton
Saints.
versus
Yeah,
nobody.
Stafford's actually. Yeah, it don't matter. Going Saints.
Oof.
Danny, what are you going to do without Cooper Kupp in fantasy now?
Yeah.
right
gotta-
right in the
gotta-
midst of playoff season.
Thank God I have Stephon Diggs and Christian McCaffrey.
This is true.
But Jamar Chase has to stay hurt because I have Boyd as my second wide receiver. So gonna have to figure something out.
They're covering 3.5.
I agree.
Covering 3.5.
Yes. Oh boy,
What's the
that's a
over-under on our
lot.
game?
12.5.
Over under on our game
Ew.
this week. Over under is 45 for the Giants.
Give me
That's
the
high.
Panthers.
Oh, that's because of the Lions. I'm going Panthers too.
12.5. I'm gonna go Panthers cover.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Taylor Heineke. I'm riding the Taylor Heineke train.
Yeah.
Tyler Heineke.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid of him catching up to us than the.
I mean, the fucking Raiders are 2-7. This is what you get
Yeah.
for stealing Devontae Adams.
Broncos
This-
country. Let's ride.
This it's the only place in Vegas where the house always loses.
Unbelievable. What a disaster.
Yes.
Jesus.
That's a
That's a
pick
hell of
'em.
a game.
Go
By
Vikings.
the way, this is the Channel 2 425 game.
Go
this is-
Vikings. Giants had up 2 games going into Thanksgiving. Let's go.
It's like a game. It would technically be a game and a half, but
All right,
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm sorry. Pops, I'm taking the Vikings.
Minnesota at home, not prime time. Boom.
Well, 425 is kind of prime time.
It is the game of the week.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Oh, that means Tony's
I
calling it.
know. Oh, yeah. That's true. I
Well,
don't
he's
know,
not going to
Jim.
go to Pittsburgh.
I don't know, Jim.
That's the
The only
Sunday
other
nighter.
game that they can go to is probably the Jet game.
No,
Maybe Buffalo.
They'll be at the Cowboy game.
Maybe Buffalo. I don't think. I'm pretty sure Tony saw the weather and goes, you told me I get to go any places that.
You told me I
have
get to
golf
stay
courses."
home.
I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, they seem to have figured things out a little bit. Starting to get a roll going.
They're getting healthy without Jamar, which is scary because they're going to get him back.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on. They fucked that up.
Well, they did.
Oh, they flexed. Okay, sorry.
yeah, they flexed it.
But because it says CBS and NBC. I got confused for a second.
Oh, so now we're doing the San Francisco 49ers are on primetime all the time. Started with the Denver Broncos for the start of the
Yep.
season. Now we're going all Niners the rest of the year.
I didn't watch a minute of that game. I just turned the TV on when we got back to the
That
hotel.
game was so annoying.
And Jimmy
because
was on TV, so I was like, oh, I guess they won.
They don't know how to use everybody.
No?
No, McCaffrey didn't get a lot of carries.
That's
They
your
used
fantasy
what's
team
his name.
talking.
Yeah, it was my fantasy.
The Chiefs have to win.
Oh,
I mean,
they
the
should win.
The Chargers are a disaster.
Yeah, they're frauds.
Their franchise is a disaster. It's
And-
not even like
And everybody's hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think Colt McCoy could beat Jimmy G.
We had a very interesting
Colt
offseason.
McCoy's questionable too this week.
It was a very
Yeah.
interesting offseason with all the quarterbacks
So
moving. and
why
things.
is what's wrong with Murray?
Said Wednesday he'll make a decision. Murray's got a hamstring and
Oh.
McCoy's got a knee.
Uh-oh.
Minor for Colt though.
Do we think like I said, Russ moved, bunch of other quarterbacks moved, Matt Ryan. They were kind of at the end of their careers. But do we see guys? Do you think we'll see a guy like Herbert like pull an NBA move and just be like, "Get me the fuck out of here"?
Yes.
Maybe. If it gets as bad as it is.
I would.
By the way, if neither of them start for Arizona, third string quarterback, Trace McSorley.
That's right.
Let's
Get the song
go.
going.
I'm changing my pick if that guy starts.
If Trace McSorley is playing for the Cardinals, love it.
By the way, Kyler Murray leads the Cardinals in rushing and as the quarterback.
Yeah, because they have fucking
Well, Connor got hurt, so
yeah. I don't even know who their running back is now.
Connor, he got hurt.
Nope,
Oh, he's back.
He bounced
Oh,
back
okay.
last week. Yeah,
Got it.
and Zach Ertz's career could be over.
yeah, that's unfortunate.
43 and a half. I'm going to go way under that. I'm say 35. 43 and a half.
Easy
Trace
40. on the
McSorley
top.
may be starting at quarterback, and the Niners can't put up more than 10 points.
Did you guys see if Jimmy G doesn't throw a touchdown, they're 10-2 in games?
He's like perfect.
That's their formula. When they don't need him to play, he's great.
Pretty funny.
I think
But
it's
it makes
hilarious.
sense though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Like they're a franchise that they run the ball down your throat and they play defense.
Yeah, but like that's
It's not going to work in January, but whatever. Do what you got to do.
it does sometimes. If the other team can't stop the run, believe me, it works in January.
You mean like the Packers couldn't stop?
Yes. I think he threw like 8 passes in that championship game that they won.
I remember you were like sweating when Joe Webb started for the Vikings, and you were scared, and then he threw the ball into the dirt, and you're like, all right,
Well,
we're
yeah,
fine. We're
that's
going
what
on to next week.
You know what would have been great if we would have got to the point where Jimmy G had to throw the ball, but again, he threw about 8 passes, and like the only one that was to Kittle was actually the only one they needed when the game was relatively close at the end.
So we went 1 for 8. Got it.
I have to look it up now. And this is just nonsense, but 20 no, this is 2020. I need 2019. He was 6 for 8 for 77 yards. It's exactly what I said, that he threw 8 passes. But Mostert ran for 220 yards. That's what they need.
Oh yay! Tonight started Disney on Ice. I'm so excited. Vin, when's the next? It's not Friday Night Lights podcast.
They didn't really say a schedule.
I kind of feel the need to like watch the first episode and then get prepared for when they have the episode.
Nah, I think I've watched the first episode enough times. I think I'm good.
I just want to hear what his thoughts were when he read the script of what happens at the end of the episode. So apparently, we are the Fox Game of the Week this week. Because I just opened Spotify podcast to see if I have anything. And Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson have joined the All In podcast with Art Stapleton to preview the Giants-Lions.
I don't know. I guess, yeah, because they did the... I do like... This is just side.
I guess with the Cowboys-Vikings being on CBS, it makes sense.
Right. The guy who did baseball on Fox, I like him. On football and in baseball.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He did the Bills
He
game,
did the Viking game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was watching that's what it was. I was watching I heard how crazy it was. Like, to me, they had Red Zone on in the stadium, but then an hour before when they did warm-ups, they cut it off. So they were up 14 points when they turned it off, the Bills. And I was like, okay, so they got it. And then they kept hearing the Vikings came back. I didn't know everything that happened. It was fucking insane.
Was everybody getting pissed that they won?
Yeah, everybody was pissed that they won and came back. They were like, "Oh, the goddamn Vikings!" But I just assumed the Bills blew it. I didn't know
because the Bears are the bigger rivalry, or is it whoever, depending on the situation, like us?
The Bears are the bigger rivalry because it's historical.
Yeah.
But it's usually like I hate the Vikings more because they've been better in my life.
Right. Moss, Carter,
Culpepper, AP, the whole
Favre going there and
Favre, all that stuff. The Bears have been good at the same time as the Packers like twice, and we beat them both times. So
it hasn't mattered at all.
It hasn't really mattered. No, the one in the championship game.
I'll never forget that game. That was nuts.
So
the NFC Championship game.
The Packer Bear one? Yeah. BJ Raji, my guy.
Jersey's finest.
Justin Verlander becomes the 11th pitcher to have 3+ Cy Young awards.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Seaver, Max, Jim Palmer, Pedro, Koufax has 3. Interesting, he only won 3.
He won 3 in a row. He was the best pitcher in the world for like 4 years, and that was it.
Yeah. Kershaw 3, Maddox 4, Carlton 4, Johnson 5, Clemens 7.
Everyone you're naming is a Hall of Famer except for Clemens because of Clemens things.
Until in a couple weeks from now when the committee puts him in there.
Yeah.
Is he in the thing?
He's on.
Yeah, him and Bonds and Schilling.
And so is I think McGuire's on that list too.
I haven't even looked at this list.
Howie's been like going off on Twitter about it.
They didn't.
Because
Why?
no, because
Oh,
no.
I thought his thing is done. That Gil Hodges is in already. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Keith.
Oh.
Keith. Yeah, his name. Oh, Donnie Baseball was in it, not him.
Okay.
That's
Bonds and Sosa, Clemens, Schilling will be eligible in December 2022. Okay. So, okay, whatever. It's just that they're eligible earlier than they were supposed to be eligible.
Yeah.
You were
because
they
they're
were
like, this
supposed
is
to have to
ridiculous.
wait.
She
Yeah,
should
they were
be
supposed
in
to have to
there.
wait 16 years.
They
It
know they're
only
gonna
be
make it
15.
now, and they're just like, fuck it, I guess.
Sosa's the only one I'd probably keep out.
But do you though?
I get it, but I think if you put them in, you got to put them all in. You're right. McGuire was not on the list, by the way.
But Sosa did hit 60 3 years in a row.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't like him.
But he's still right though. Why is that one guy not in it? Why is
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Keith still not there?
It's weird. Maybe because of the cocaine thing.
Okay, that's
I don't know.
I
Fair.
wish I could tell you.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
I had this conversation on Saturday night with Joey Love at the hockey game before the game
About cocaine?
about the MLB Hall of Fame. If you're gonna put these guys in,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta go back. You gotta look at it. There was no testing when Babe Ruth was in. Who knows what he was putting into his body,
It was
Right.
beer and hot
Beer.
dogs.
Yeah.
right? But who knows what else that you didn't see?
He might have killed his
Right.
wife, too.
Willie Mays. Willie Mays, same thing, right?
Don't disparage
Hank
him.
Aaron, same thing. All these guys.
There wasn't enough science for them.
Babe Ruth's thing is he didn't have to play against black people.
Right.
That's just a fact. I'm being honest.
I'm just saying. That's what it's all coming down to. Anywho, next week, Tuesday, Thanksgiving week is a short week, so we will be back Tuesday night next week. Gentlemen,
Thank you, Ariana, for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
oh, Blackhawks lost. Shut that off now.
Who cares about
And
the
we're
Blackhawks?
listening to Brendan Burke.
Who cares about hockey?
I mean, I care about hockey, but not about the Blackhawks.
Well, Brendan Burke was calling the game, so I don't know. Thank you again. Make sure you guys follow her on all of her socials. Anything else, boys?
No. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your football.
Yep.
We'll see you all next week.